Hello everybody, I'm Rock. So I'm a biogeneticist. That basically means I work with DNA. So this video is going to be all about DNA. I'm doing this as the first part of the first episode of a series all about your body and how it works. Each episode will be split into about 3 parts and 3 videos, which comes through, and if there's about 5 episodes I've got planned, that's about 15 videos, plus a conclusion at the end, which is 16 videos, all about how your body works. I don't even think I'm going to have enough time for all this. Whoa, the body is so complicated and I've only got 16 videos in which to explain it. I'll probably add some more at the end. Ooh. So, DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Now, let's look at that name first. That's nucleic acid, which is a main biological molecule. There are 4 main biological molecules, types at least. There's carbohydrates or carbs, which you'll find in things like potatoes and crisps and chips or French fries. Don't know where you're watching this, depends where you are, you call them. Then there's lipids or fats. You really call them all fats wherever you come from. Then there's proteins, and I'm sure most people know what proteins are, but they're found in things like fish, eggs, meat, especially red meats like cow and pig, or beef and pork if you want to be pedantic. So then of course there's nucleic acids, which are things like DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, which is ribonucleic acid. So that's basically genetic material. It's found in the nucleus of cells, hence the word nucleic acid. Now, so the first bit is deoxyribo. Now, that's really short for deoxyribose, which is it's really a very important chemical in it. There's loads of them all over the place in DNA. Now, you may have heard that DNA is genetic code. You may have heard it's a spiral ladder. You may have heard there's 3 billion letters of it. Well, what does that mean? What is genetic code? How can you have a spiraling ladder inside your body? And what do these 3 billion letters mean? That's what I'm here, and that's what I'm going to explain. This is biology in a nutshell. And we're back. So, let's just go over that again. Genetic material, spiral ladder, called a dual helix, 3 billion letters. Let's explain that a bit more. So, it's genetic code. It basically tells your body, tells your cells what to do. Now, there's 3 billion letters of code in there that tell you about that. I'll explain that to you in a minute. But scientists estimate that only 150 million of these letters actually are used for creating things like proteins and have a known use. That's just 5%. That's if you divide it by 20. 3 billion divided by 20. That's still a heck of a lot, but it's tiny compared to how much isn't being used. Which, if you're interested, is about 2,850,000,000. Yeah, 2,850,000,000 letters that don't really have a known use. So that's something cool that people really want to find out about. So, these letters I was telling you about are adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine, or A, C, G, and T. Now, they're basically smaller molecules. They're still pretty big in the world of molecules, but they're tiny compared to DNA, which contains 3 billion of them. So they basically form the rungs of the ladder. Now, on each rung, there's 2, and they always go in pairs. Adenine and thymine always go by each other, and cytosine and guanine always go by each other. Now, the way you remember that, I just remember it because I've got a brilliant memory. But the way most people remember it could be, well, most people don't know it. The way people who do know it remember it is adenine and thymine go together because apples grow in the tree. Apples are A for adenine, tree is T for thymine. And cytosine and guanine go together because cars go in the garage or garage, wherever you are. I don't really care. So cytosine is C, like cars, and guanine is G, like garage or garage. Now, the chemical symbols for these, the chemical formulas even, For adenine, C5H5N5, cytosine is C4H5N3O, guanine is C5H5N5O, and thymine is C12H17N4OS1+, because it is a positively charged ion. Whoa! Yes, that's pretty cool. So, like I said, these are pretty big molecules in the world of molecules, but they're still absolutely tiny compared to the massive DNA dual helix. Now, that's sort of like a twisted round ladder, but I've only told you about the rungs so far. So I'm going to talk about the supports, or the dual spines, as it's called, which are made of deoxyribose and phosphate. Now, deoxyribose is a 5-carbon sugar. Its chemical formula is C5H10O4. Yeah, which basically means there's 5 carbons and then 10 hydrogens, 4 oxygens as well. Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything special, it just means it's a cool sugar. Yeah. So, this and the phosphate groups basically form an alternating column that then gets twisted round into the side of the DNA, which is like deoxyribose phosphate group, deoxyribose phosphate group, deoxyribose phosphate group. It basically alternates between them. Now, the first phosphate on the one side connects to the 5th carbon of the deoxyribose molecule, and then that one connects to the next one connects to the third, and the fifth, and the third, and the fifth. You get the idea. And that's called the 5 to 3, and the other side is complete opposite. It's basically upside down, and that goes 3 to 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, rather than 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. You get the idea. It's complicated and confusing. Now, quickly going back to the rungs of the ladder, they're known as polynucleotides, since they're composed of simpler units called nucleotides, i.e. the adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. They're basically nitrogen-containing nuclear bases. Basically. So that's each side. So a spiral, one spiral with one half of the rungs, if that makes sense. Basically, if you get a ladder, you cut in half and then you spiral it around so it's proper like half of DNA side. That is a nucleotide, and then the entire DNA strand is called a dual nucleotide. Now, most of the time you have this DNA just sort of floating around in your cells, just like a big squiggly line in the middle of the nucleus of your cells. This is called chromatin. That all changes. You have the DNA sort of wraps itself around these proteins called histones, and then that gets all raveled up into chromosomes, but that's only when the cell's splitting up to produce another cell. And yes, that's pretty cool. Now we'll talk about how cells split up, but also how cells create proteins using DNA in the next part of this episode. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you found this useful, please subscribe, comment, like, do everything as you can just to make my life beautiful, because yay. So thanks for watching, guys. I will be back next time, and I hope you will be too. This is biology in a nutshell with me, Rocket. See you all next time. Bye!